Hey guys, welcome back to Spooky Tuesday, a weekly podcast where we're breaking down all of our favorite slashers, thrillers, monster movies, and black comedies on the new scariest day of the week. I'm Sydney Thompson.
I'm Monica Height.
And I'm Chelsea Duff.
And oh boy, it is our special day. It's a very special day. It's October, so it's everyone's special day. I think that every day in October is probably the specialist day of the year.
Agreed.
Besides each of our respective birthdays that aren't in October, just
Which mine is, so
that one's extra special.
Exactly.
But it's very exciting because we're kicking off a brand new season, and that is season 666. We're doing a devil thing. Have you noticed? Yeah, there's a little bit of a devil thing going on. And we're kicking it off in the most perfect way. When we came up with the idea to do the Omen for our season premiere, we did not really think about, at least I didn't, because it was my idea, how prevalent 666 is in the movie. So really, we couldn't have picked a better time.
Once again, Spooky Tuesday, always on top of everything.
It's crazy because even when we're not really thinking about things, we're thinking about things. It's the back of our mind doing really crazy shit. But yeah, we're going all the way back to 1976 to the OG, The Omen. And I'm going to just go right into the IMDb log line in case you're so lost and confused and scared and you're thinking I'm talking about the Liev Schreiber one is that Mandy Moore? No, not Mandy Moore.
No,
what's her name? Not
I
Mandy
don't know,
Moore.
but I didn't even know Liev Schreiber was in it. I'm learning.
Yeah, it's Liev Schreiber and
the Omen cast.
It's Liev Schreiber and the girl I was gonna say the girl from 10 Things I Hate About You. It's not that one.
Mia Farrow is also there.
It's not that one. It's the 76 one. Anyway, here we go. Mysterious deaths surround an American ambassador. Could the child that he is raising actually be the Antichrist? The devil's own son? It's not even could he actually be the Antichrist. The devil's own son? That's
question mark.
I love a logline that ends in a question, in two questions.
It's provocative.
Yeah. It's very provocative. I'm questioning things. I'm feeling a lot of uncertainty and I'm scared and I'm spooked and I'm ready to get devilish.
It's so interesting because with headlines like that, when they ask a question, usually the answer is no, or they would just tell you in the headline. But with this one, they're really mixing it up.
No, they're like, you have to watch the movie to find out the answer to this very hot, heated, beautiful question.
I think the logline actually ends like that. Could it be the devil's own son? Watch the movie and find out.
That's just it's left unsaid. It's the subtext right there for you. But anyway, I had seen this movie a bunch of times before. I know we talked about this a little bit at the end of last episode, but Chelsea, had you not seen it?
I hadn't seen it, no.
Oh my God. Sydney, you have.
I'd seen it one time before.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I don't know. It is a 70s like slow burn horror movie, but I think this baby fucks. I love her.
It's a slow burn, but not like a crazy slow burn. Like it's like the original Final Destination a little bit.
Dude,
I was thinking about Final Destination a lot.
Yeah.
This movie if without this movie, we would not have gotten Final Destination 3.
Summer.
Final Destination 3
Final Destination 3 specifically.
Final Destination 2 also has that plot that ends up being a nothing burger, but where they're like, if this baby can be born, or if we prevent the birth of this baby, it's kind of a parallel.
Yeah, but Final Destination 3
with the pictures
literally has the camera, and the cameras predict the deaths. And where did they get that idea? Probably this movie. I don't know if it was the first one who did it, but this movie really like set the
spooky
standard.
Wind causing weird, suspicious deaths.
Oh yeah, the spooky wind. There are so many parallels. We wouldn't have gotten the Mary Elizabeth Winstead classic without the Omen. So you better thank Gregory Peck, okay?
No, this movie is the blueprint.
It really is the blueprint. Like, obviously, the actual blueprint is the Bible and
No.
Well,
Revelation.
they made
Some of those
stuff
quotes are fake,
so
so
yeah.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I was reading this article from the guy who wrote it. I don't know, was it David Seltzer or Harvey?
I think David Seltzer's right, but that could have been the director.
I'm looking at, there's 2 writers listed, so I was just trying to figure out which person that I read a thing from. David Seltzer, and that's who it was. It was David Seltzer. It was a very funny article about him and his writing process for writing this. And he used to be like a writer for like documentaries. And he was like, I always want to like learn something when I take on a project. And then he got asked to do this, and he's like, I can't say yes to that. Like that, what am I gonna learn? And he was like, I learned that that Revelations go fucking crazy. Revelations
the book
is
of Revelations
is wild.
literally so insane.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
something on IMDb trivia that was like, he didn't know if he wanted to write the movie, and then he was like, well, I've never actually read the Bible before. So he took on an interesting project.
I mean, that is, yeah. I've only read the Spark Notes of the Bible, famously. So I've never read Revelations.
Here's the thing.
So
If you read the Bible as like a
romanticy.
or like a non-fiction book a little bit, the
Sorry.
Bible is actually an incredible book. But if you
Yeah.
take the Bible as like this is
The word of
only
God.
thing that happens and it really happened and everything in the Bible is the only thing, you're like, girl,
There's no human intervention in the text of the Bible,
Be
even though
fucking
God
for
had to
real.
give humans the text to write it down. But don't worry, there was definitely no editorializing.
Of course. And I believe that.
And I believe it.
I believe that for sure. But yeah, I think that this movie, like one of the points that David Seltzer wrote in this article that I read, and I'll put it in the show notes. He was like, this story is so fucking ridiculous. And it would totally fall on its face if Gregory Peck wasn't here. Like, if they couldn't just like pan to Gregory Peck's face after everything that happened and have him making like the supreme I'm really good at acting face the whole time. And I don't know if I agree with that. I haven't like watched it and thought like, oh, if this was any other actor, how would it be? But I do think he's really incredible in this. And I know that he's so famous, and I honestly haven't seen much of his work besides this movie, and this is pretty late in his career.
He came out of
Right? Like-
retirement for this.
Yeah, you
Oh my
haven't
God.
seen To Kill a Mockingbird?
No, girl.
Girl!
I haven't seen Roman Holiday.
Those
I
are
haven't
peak
seen-
Gregory Peck.
I haven't seen any of this shit. I'm going through his IMDb right now. I have not seen it.
You have to watch To Kill a Mockingbird because Gregory Peck is Atticus Finch.
I'm so down.
I hear
So
he
hot.
slays. Yeah.
I haven't even seen Pork Chop Hill. Could you believe that?
That I cannot believe.
Or The Beloved Infidel, where he
What
played
about
F.
How
Scott
the West
Fitzgerald.
Was Won, which famously
actually-
inspired How the West Was Fun with Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
I haven't seen it, and I haven't seen Cape Fear. God, he's been in it like
Oh,
every.
Cape
I've heard
Fear
of
is
every
good.
single
You
one of
should
these
watch
movies.
that one.
Yeah, no, I know that he's like the guy, and the only reason I really know that is because he is the man in this. He is so good in this. It's really, it is his story, and he's a great leading man. And I don't know, I just think it's also like shot really beautifully, too. Like for a movie that, obviously 76, the special effects are very interesting and exciting, and some would say enthralling.
They do a good job with the special effects.
Yeah.
They do a good job, and also the one that looks particularly silly to me came about because of like a real world concern. The falling shot from the stairs. It
Yeah.
looks so silly, but it was because that actor was like, I don't
Lee
want to do
Remick.
that stunt. It doesn't seem safe to me. Because on The Exorcist, which came out just a few years earlier, the actress on The Exorcist who played Reagan's mom, forget her name, off the top of my head, sorry, but she had to do a stunt where she was like thrown into a wall and she really didn't want to do it. She was like, don't pull me as hard as you can. But they did because the director's like, no, you guys should for the shot. And she got like injured and had an injury that she was dealing with for like the rest of her life, basically.
Oh my God.
Because it like injured one of her ribs or something like that.
How
And
rib injuries
so
are brutal.
yeah, it was
Ellen Burstyn?
yeah, Ellen Burstyn on The Exorcist. And she
Also-
talked about it publicly and like said like I told William Friedkin, the director, like I don't want to do it that way, and then we did it that way. And IMDb trivia says he never denied this, and in fact, the stunt coordinators like backed her up, basically. So that's why when Lee Remick on this movie was like, I'm not doing that. It seems dangerous to me. They were like, well, we're gonna rework it, and instead of you like falling the way gravity would have you fall, we'll build like a floor set that can like stand up behind you, and we'll like dolly you back into it. So like, it looks very silly, but I would rather have a shot that's a little silly that protects an actor than a shot that looks good but fucks an actor up for life.
Agreed.
I also just think it looks awesome. I think that
It's
it looks
fun. It's
cool. No, yeah, it's
stylistic.
super fun. There's so
Little
many
Matrixy,
interesting
but
like stylistic shots in this, like also the decapitation later where they caught it from like every single angle. It's like action replay, the head flipping around. I love that. I love that.
IMDb trivia for that one said he wanted to film it in a way where when you close your eyes so you don't see it, when you open them again, you still see decapitated head. You can't
Amazing.
get away from decapitated head.
Can't escape the truth. Yeah, I don't know. I've watched quite a few movies and properties that have the same like concept. A lot of them have been literally remakes of this. Like I was saying, watched the I think it's 2006 remake of The Omen, which is also pretty good, honestly. Like I think I saw that one first, maybe. Who knows? I am a child of the 90s, so I would be more likely to see an early aughts film than I would have been to see a 70s film. But that one's pretty good. I've seen the first Omen. I saw Good Omens, which has a very similar antichrist plot line. But I just think this one is done so well because it like plays on like your human emotions so well, and it makes you feel like compassionate towards this our main couple here, whose names I know because I watched the movie. Robert Thorne and Catherine Thorne.
Catherine.
The Thorn.
Kathy.
Kathy. But I love the beginning of this movie because I love just how heart-wrenching it is from second one. It's a little confusing because I didn't understand what was going on with the like narration where it was like Gregory Peck being like, the baby is dead, the baby is dead. I was like, is the God telling him something? I was like so confused, but he was like,
the baby is dead.
he was remembering a phone call, I believe, is what was happening. But the concept is so sad. There's so many like dumb bitch things that happen along the way in this story, but like it does come from him trying to protect his wife, you know, because like losing a child like in childbirth is such a horrific thing, and losing a child anytime is such a horrific thing, and like I get why he would try to protect her and save her from that. But this is just a reminder that you shouldn't lie to your wife ever, and
Yeah.
you shouldn't do an
Not
illegal
what-
adoption. Yeah, even like it's coming from such a good place. You're like, it'll kill her. Well, you know what killed her, actually? The demon spawn that you brought into your life instead.
But he gave her 5 happy years first, and isn't that more important in the grand scheme of things?
If she was going to die in 5 years anyway, maybe, but I don't think that's how the cookie would have crumbled.
What if she died of heartbreak on the spot when he told her? So we'll just never know.
We'll certainly never know.
Mm.
But when someone's like, "Oh, it's crazy. It's divine intervention. There's a baby
Yeah.
right here." That's weird.
Yeah.
There's just this baby right here and we don't have to do any paperwork. And you
Yeah,
could just
'cause all
have the
parents are
baby.
dead
And
for this
whoa, the baby.
that's right here.
Okay. Did you guys ever watch the pilot for This Is Us?
No.
That's one of the things that happens in that TV
They just
show.
give a
I did
baby.
watch that.
You know how there's the twins and then Randall, the brother
Yes.
played by Sterling K. Brown.
Yeah.
They were triplets. They were Mandy Moore. Speaking of Mandy Moore,
Oh,
she
yeah.
was pregnant with triplets, and then one of the babies didn't live, but there'd been a baby surrendered to the hospital. And so
They
what's
got
his
Randall.
face was just like, hey, yeah, we'll take that third baby. That's cool.
I guess
We're
that
prepared
happened
for
back
3
in the day way more
babies.
time.
We're emotionally connected to the idea of 3 babies. That baby needs a home, and we're so giving.
Well, okay, but here's the thing. I will say, not to compare like human children.
This is us to the Omen.
Well, no, I was gonna say like human children to livestock. But like,
Yeah.
so a lot of the times, if you have like horse or cattle and they have twins, which is like really weird, or even goats, right? Like they'll have
Huh.
multiples. The mother will sometimes reject. They like favor one and they reject the other. And if there's another mother that has like lost a baby, they will literally sometimes they will skin the dead baby and like wrap it around the live baby because the mother knows
They should
what
have done
their
that
baby
in this
smell
smells
movie.
like.
Why
And
didn't they do that in this
sometimes
movie?
they do. Like it's always the last resort.
So sorry.
Like they really only do that if like the mom is like really attached to its own baby that has died. But like a lot of the
This is
times like the mom
horrific.
knows that it needs to be a mom, like it has
Yeah.
like instinctual drive, and so they will
and
place
hormones
one of
biologically.
Yeah.
the two twins with like the mom that doesn't have one because that like the like one of the
She needs a
multiples
baby.
was
He needs a
rejected.
mommy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like that to me makes sense. But like,
But
why
you
aren't you
can't
telling your wife that
explain
her
it to
baby
the
is dead?
cow. Yeah, you can't explain it to the cow, and you can't explain it to your wife. So
It's like
That's the difference.
you know when you get on TikTok and you watch those like weird like pay for stories that like but they like give previews of it in like TikTok
no,
form.
I don't know what you're
You don't
talking
get
about. Paying
those?
for
Oh my God.
stories.
I don't
never
have
pay
TikTok
for them, but I
anymore.
always watch the like preview ones, and then you can go and people will like post the stories on there. This one, and it was like this billionaire woman, her husband was sleeping with her assistant, and he knocked up her assistant at the same time that she got knocked up, and so like they disposed of her real baby and put the assistant's baby as her baby.
Why
was
would
like,
that have happened?
she'll never know. And then when our baby turns 18, she'll give us the company and we'll steal all of her money, but she overhears everything. So then she just plays along for 18 years, and then she's like, "Gotcha, bitch! I got my
She
real
plays
baby."
along for
I'm
18 years
glad-
after they disposed of her baby.
Well,
She's like,
she
"Well,
went-
I'm playing the long game, and I'm gonna get them in the end."
She went and they disposed her baby in the dumpster. She went to the dumpster, found her real baby, like, put the baby
Sent it to
with
the monastery to be raised by the nuns.
No, sent it with a hot single dad who's always actually been in love with her and never married
This
and
is
never found
insane.
another person. She was just waiting for her to break up with her husband.
God,
But she
ChatGPT
was
goes
like, "I'm
crazy.
committed to the plot of Penny," and I go, "I get that, girl. It's just like that."
That's
I
true.
don't know
I
that
think
I
that's
would
true.
have the 18 years patience, but good for her.
I think that's true,
She's
and I
real,
think that
and I
that
believe she's
happened.
that
It's
patient.
real,
She's
and that's
a
a
real
true
hater,
story.
okay,
And I
Chelsea?
know her, and I can't believe that you just
just.
I can't believe you just told her whole private story like that to the whole Spooky Tuesday audience. That was a private story. 18
This
years of pain.
movie did make me think about how much easier it was to lie about a baby's parentage back in the day.
Before
Because these
23andMe?
days, yeah, well, genetic testing for one, but also just people being like, I want to know my family history now, or like, why do I have a blood type that's incompatible with my parents, or XYZ million other things, even before the spit test sites. Like,
Yeah, 23andMe did not exist back in the day.
No, there's none of that. You could do anything. You could take any old baby. And that is one of the good things about modern technology. You have to go through the processes now to get a baby. As someone who's half adopted, you know, you got to go through the proper channels, all right? It's important.
It's important
but
for
yeah,
the parents and the baby.
Yes.
yeah, just so they know what the fuck is going on later on in life. But, this child had an innate knowing because he is the son of Satan. And
And a
so the
jackal.
devil, he is the devil's own son, by the way. In case that's the
You
answer to
answered the question from the movie.
He is
Wow.
the devil's own son.
Dun,
And
Yeah.
I'm
dun,
shocked. I
dun.
The
thought for
devil's own
sure
son.
he was
Yeah.
not going to be the devil's own son. That was my prediction.
No, well, you're dead wrong there. I'll tell you that.
Apparently, they did want it to be more ambiguous in this movie originally.
Yeah.
Especially they wanted Mrs. Baylock was originally supposed to be like a warm, motherly, matronly Irish nanny, but then that actress came in, Billy Whitelaw, and she did like a very cold, calculated read on the character, and she like changed some of the dialogue to fit her interpretation more. And the director, Richard Donner, just like fucked heavy with that and liked it so much that he was like, okay,
I mean, she slayed.
okay, we'll do that instead. And so that makes it like much more obvious that she's like there to be protecting the spawn of Satan. You know what I mean?
And she's like really obvious about it, but she's so good, so I get it. But also, apparently the actress who played her like she was like doing theater at the time. She was like like there's a schedule conflict, and so she like tried to call it production, but it was a weekend, so nobody at production answered. So she goes, I guess I'll just have to show up on Monday and do this job.
Do the movie.
That's
trying to get out
funny.
to do her theater performances, but didn't work
she's
out.
got a star in a classic horror film that is beloved. Yeah, I love though that like it is a little bit ambiguous in the beginning. Obviously going into it that it could be the devil's own son. You don't know for sure, but I love the beginning of this movie because I think that they do a really good job of like making you. I already said this, but like making you fucking love these people. At least I do, because I think they're such a fucking cute couple.
They
Robert
are really
and Kathy.
sweet.
They're so sweet. I love the little banter with them. He's like, oh, like I had to go like do something with the I don't know, his play on words where he like reveals that he's now the what's it called? Diplomat,
the
ambassador.
The ambassador to the
count whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah. That was so cute.
And then she's like, "Who is that?" And she's like, "You're talking to him.
Your own husband. You're married to him." I love that. I love like when they move to their new, or when she picks out the new house and she's like, well, there's no furniture upstairs either, and they just throw the fur down on the ground and they're just gonna go crazy and fuck right there.
And when she's like, nothing's too much for the wife of the future president of the United States, it's like, okay, queen, butter him up.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm afraid you're too sexy for the White House. Oh my god.
That's what every girl wants to hear, actually.
Yeah.
I was
if somebody said like you're hot enough to be in the White House, I would take that as an insult. I'm so sorry, actually.
Don't you remember how we were just talking about Legally Blonde last episode? And when he's dumping her, he literally is like, if I'm gonna be in government, I need a Jackie, not a Marilyn.
Right?
So
you're actually too hot for me to be in politics, babe. So sorry.
So
hot, it's hurting my feelings. Yeah. I also just think that is like the best montage of a little boy growing up I've ever seen. All those little pictures of them all cuddled together. It was so cute. Why does he have the best outfits? Oh, Chelsea's wearing one of them. He's so, oh God, to be a baby in the 70s.
To be a baby in England in the 70s. You're always wearing a little tie.
A baby in the like the 60s and the 70s with their cutie little like stuff. You're just like, yeah.
I know. Baby hats are so important. No one's talking about that.
Here's the thing that I will say, like, there's certain Southern things that I don't like, but like we will still put babies in bonnets down here, and they still wear like the baubles and stuff like that. And like boys wear like the little like dress things, and I'm like,
love a christening dress for a baby.
Yeah, like
they've got a long train with a fancy little baby.
I don't like bows on my girlies, but I'm putting a little baby boy in a little dressy thing because I think that's so cute.
It's fucking adorable. I think a baby boy should wear a little dressing gown and a little hat. It's very important,
Here's the thing.
actually.
Boys should wear dresses. Just logistically, it makes more sense. Women should
Boys
be
should
in
wear
pants.
skirts. Boys should wear kilts.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. And get a little free flowing air down there. It's important. But I think, oh gosh, I just spilled a crushed Sudafed all over my desk. Anyway,
Snort it right now.
I want to sleep at some point tonight.
Daily.
But anyway, I think that like one of the like quintessential scenes in this whole franchise is the first kill.
Yeah, that was literally the one thing that I knew about the Omen was that it's all for you, Damien.
It's all for you. And so something that I was wondering, based on this whole scene, one, what a cunty birthday party. I want that to be my birthday party.
Correct.
Very slay birthday party. It's incredible.
His little makeshift roller coaster.
That was
Yes.
so cute.
The clowns. I love the clowns. All of it is beautiful. It's got so many fun little friends. But like, do you think, because Damien is obviously, he is the Antichrist, but like did he need to be activated to become evil little boy? Because it seems like he had been chill for the last 5 years. Like, did the coming of the Hellhound activate his evilness?
Honestly, when like I said, I hadn't seen this movie before. All I really knew, really seriously, was "It's all for you, Damien." And I think I only knew that from things parodying it. So I didn't really know the context other than the nanny standing on a balcony of some sort. But watching this scene when she's like locking eyes with the dog beforehand and the dog is locking eyes with her, it kind of seemed to me like the dog was the one that came and put her under a spell, and then it locks eyes with Damien afterwards. And I was kind of wondering, but then he does a little wave, so I was like, maybe he passed the message through the dog. Maybe he's just still a little baby at this point. I mean, he's the Antichrist regardless, but maybe it's not until Mrs. Baylock comes later that she starts his like education, if you will. But the hounds are obviously sent there to protect him. I definitely felt like that first hellhound, if you will, was like pulling some
catalyst.
strings. Because clearly there was something with the eye contact with Holly the nanny before she jumped. There was some kind of influence there. But then I don't think the dogs were doing anything else after that beyond being guard dogs. So I'm not really sure.
Like, I think my theory is based on only this guy right up here, my brain. So if I'm wrong, sorry, but this is how I feel. Based on like other properties I've seen that are similar as well, I think that like because he's the Antichrist, he's a fucking Antichrist. So he's always probably had this sort of like innate thing about him. But I don't think the reason that this happens on his 5th birthday, it like that is for a reason.
It should have happened on his 6th birthday. Let's be real.
I know. It's a
Fair,
little like,
yeah.
okay,
That was a mistake.
Especially because
right
the movie came out right around the time when Damien's 6th birthday would have been.
June 6th.
But maybe he needed to have come into his Antichrist power by the time his 6th birthday rolled around. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Maybe like that's when. Well, no.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll get into that later. But anyway, I think that he's had some sort of like thrall regardless, but it's not necessarily evil, because the reason I say that is like his nanny did seem like very, very acutely enamored with him. Even
she like didn't want to hand him over to the mom.
Exactly. But even before she like locked eyes with that dog,
Look
she
at me,
was
Damien.
obsessed with the baby. She was like, you know, it's her job. I get that. But it seemed like the way that Kathy was looking at her and reacting to her, like having photos taken with the baby, was
like
that
she was
like
positioning herself as the mother.
As the mother, yes. Which is like an interesting thing throughout this movie, because they have these nannies, and a lot of people have nannies, and it's, you know, everyone can have different opinions on it, but like they lean really heavily on the nannies to raise this child, and that makes things a lot worse in this situation, because we got a demon lady who is the nanny, unfortunately. But I feel like that's just like a side plot thing that like isn't ever put to words for Kathy's character, that like she sort of has this animosity towards the help that like she has to raise the child because she wants to be the mother and that's so important to her, but she also like can't be there all the time and isn't there all the time, you know, so she does need this help and use this help. But anyway, I think that like Damien did have inspired this type of like fervent adoration from this first nanny, which I don't know her name, and so I think
Holly?
it was just
Her name
Nanny.
is either Holly or the actress's name is
The
Holly.
actress's name is
Oh,
Holly.
and on IMDb she's just credited as Nanny, so I guess I don't
Nanny,
know.
yeah, no name.
But yeah,
But yeah, I think that the birthday is the reason for the arrival of the dog, and then the arrival of the dog in Good Omens was there's a similar thing, a dog comes and that is like a catalyst for like the power of the antichrist in that show. This is all in the pilot, by the way, so like don't worry, I'm not spoiling anything. As the catalyst for that child like gaining more power and coming into his power is like having his like servants there, you know, like the dark lord servants. So yeah, I
yeah,
think
I mean,
that
I think Jesus was a baby at one point too. You know what I mean? And it's kind of one of those things where it's like, was he a baby or was he Jesus the whole time? And the Bible kind of just like skips to him as an adult. So it's one of those things where it's like, we don't really know what those years looked like. So I think there's a lot of room for interpretation. But the stuff with the nanny and the mom, I also think is something they don't really like get in. We don't see necessarily, we hear about, but we don't see in the movie her having sort of a disconnected relationship with Damien. We only see, especially up until the birthday scene, her being like very cuddly and warm with him and like taking pictures and protecting him when this moment happens and helping him look away. And it's only later when she wants to talk to the psychiatrist that the psychiatrist reveals to her husband she's has these delusions or these fantasies that he's an alien or that he's evil and that he's not her baby. But like, if this is something that she's been secretly feeling for longer than this, that just gets like activated by all of the turmoil in their life, I could see her being more sensitive to the nanny seeming motherly to him, because it's like, if she's battling her own feelings of not feeling
yeah,
a maternal connection, but she certainly doesn't want that on display, because it's both, she has to contend with her own emotional journey in regards to this stuff, and also they are public figures because they are in
totally.
politics, and like, I don't know exactly what the tabloid culture of the time was per se, but we certainly do know that one photographer at least is like following them and reporting on them and is
There were
invested in their
multiple after the
lives.
event, you know,
Yeah,
after the incident, there were a bunch
they're
of
like hounding
paparazzi.
him at the embassy or whatever, in that one scene, so we know that there is reporting on them and journalistic interest in them. So it's both like whatever she's going through internally and also like the face that she wants to be putting on for the public as the wife of the ambassador or as the future first lady if they really have these
Yeah.
presidential ambitions. So it's
Yeah, it's
all,
hard to say what she was feeling because they didn't really dive into that. It's like mostly just that beautiful montage of them and and that's
even after
that's
this,
it.
they kind of just like skipped right to being like, things are bad now. And I would have loved to have
Well,
seen things be bad between them more, or her like struggling with
between
that.
what? Between her and the son?
Yeah, or just like her journey beyond when she's at the point where she's talking to her husband and being like, I'm scared. I need to see a psychiatrist and I can't tell you why, or you'll have me institutionalized, but I need you to believe me because you think I don't need to see a doctor, which is so like, I wish back in the 70s there was a middle
I
point between
don't know.
you're fine or you need to be institutionalized, but
Well, yeah, that I agree with you. I do think that they do a good job of sorry. That they do a good job of like leading her to that space because there are several incidents that take place
that's true.
between
There's
then
the
and
church
there.
stuff.
Yeah. There's the church and the monkeys, and that is a lot already. And like the insubordination of Mrs. Baylock. But anyway, before we get that far down the line, I just want to like zoom in on the moment when the first nanny takes her own life, because I just think that they shot that just spectacularly, and I think that it's like a really emotional moment. Obviously, it's terrifying. It's so scary. It's like this joy, like the joy of the party, and it's the coolest party ever, like we were saying. And then all of a sudden, like one, the fact that her voice can project that far, unrealistic, but like I feel like it had like spooky amplification kind of a thing. Um, and also just I don't know, the way she said it, how she jumped, how she smashes through the window, like the cut to the other like maid or nanny person inside, like seeing her come through the window and then cutting to like the faces of the children just frozen in fear and shock, and the clown in frozen in fear and shock. I just thought like it was really beautifully done. It's so haunting. It's so haunting. I feel like it's not that scary of a movie because it's a movie from 76. It's not scary in that way where it's like really trying to like, I don't know, make you jump out of your
It's like
seat.
sinister is
It's so
in vibe.
sinister. It's so sinister, and they just make really great choices throughout to just really seal the deal. So that was just such a special scene. And that clown, honestly, it's clown for me.
Yep.
Clown is a little rough, and he's so upset. Um,
When
but
he
yeah, I
like
mean,
is hugging a child and turning their face away at that one point.
yeah. But like, I mean, it does like things are immediately bad after that because they've just experienced like such an insane trauma. Someone that they trusted so innately and so completely, who like cared for their son every day for years, was in their life daily, lived in their house probably, like does this violent act, and it's on like the world stage. So it's not even like they're just experiencing it themselves. Like the whole world watched them do that. They're public figures. They have to get right back to work afterwards. Um, it's just so rough so quickly. And so I can forgive them, I guess, for being like, we need help. Oh, look, help showed up in the form of Mrs. Baylock. But girl, if you are hiring someone to
Yeah.
be with your child, every girl and boy, this is not just on Kathy. If you're
Y'all.
hiring someone
Gender
to
neutral.
y'all, I'm saying girl like girl,
Yeah,
not girl
girl,
like you're a
girl,
girl.
Just
yeah.
like dude
Yeah,
is gender neutral at this point.
I
exactly.
agree,
Girl
and I wish
is gender
everyone knew that.
neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Said girl to my dad yesterday. So
I said it to my nephew and he didn't like it. He was like, "I'm a boy," and I was like, "Oh, sorry,
I call
sorry."
my dad diva all the time. Like Mark knows diva up at this point. Like
I
oh
tried to
my God.
explain it.
Mark will give me like great fantasy football like suggestions, and I'll like get points, and I'll be like,
Thanks,
diva
Diva. Yeah.
up, and he's like, thank you.
He's like,
He doesn't do that, but in
okay.
my head, that's what he does.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, like I get that they needed help. But like they're like, "Oh, great job, honey. You got this great maid." I'm like, "Oh, no, honey, you got the maid." And then like, did they ever call? Did they ever
Well,
call?
I'm very willing to believe that she said, "Here are my references," and they called the references, and she had stacked the deck with the references backing her up, because we have that priest who comes in later who's warning him, who also has the mark of the beast on him, 666 on his inner thigh. So we know there are like more people. Nice. I thought about doing one, and then I was like, well, it'd be under my hair. So
Yeah.
It's there. We just can't see it.
it's there, but you have to
Exactly.
cut my hair to see it.
Mine's on a different
Um,
kind of hair, and
obvious.
I can't show that.
And she can't put that on the video on YouTube.
No one would
but
ask
trust,
you to
trust
shave
that
your
it's
butch,
there.
I will
honey.
never shave my bush.
He would
I'm
never
But
ask
trust
you to
that
shave your bush
underneath.
to
Yeah.
show the mark of the
no
beast.
there.
But I'm willing to believe that there's a whole crew of people out there involved in this conspiracy who would provide very false glowing references for her, and I can believe that they would call those and be satisfied with that. And I also am willing to believe that they could have called the agency and that she has someone at the agency. They've infiltrated the agency because, again, these are disciples of the antichrist who work for Satan. So, like, sure.
Yeah.
But I also don't think that they did call the agency. Maybe they called the
But they
references. Maybe. But I
No,
don't think they called the agency.
I think as soon as she gave their
she
references,
said, I have references, and they
they
went,
said
"Phew!"
that's good enough for us, actually.
Oh my god, I'm so glad she has references. Okay, no more
Yeah.
questions. Go ahead and meet him all by yourself, even though he's shy and has been through a trauma. We don't need to be there to supervise or make sure he feels comfortable.
It was
Head
the
on in
70s.
red
alone.
flags.
They
There's
weren't
so many red
active
flags.
parents.
There are 14,369, 666 red flags in this movie, and they're like, it can't be that bad.
I think it's fine.
Could he
She
be
seems
the
like a
devil's
nice
own
lady.
son? Of course he couldn't. The answer for them is of
Nobody
course
even asked them that question at that point. You know what I mean?
No,
They
they
didn't even
didn't
know it
read
was
the
on the
log
table.
line.
They
read the
didn't
log
know there
line.
was a yes or no possibility there. It hadn't even occurred to them.
Ugh, yeah. Well, okay, I gotta say, I gotta give it up to my spooky king though in this movie. Father Brennan, face of, I don't know, the best face. Just giving face. He's serving face at all. His face card never declines. Just absolutely incredible unibrow action happening. Crystalline
He
eyes.
looks haunted at all times.
He is. He was born in the mark of the beast, but he's trying to rise above it. It's crazy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's funny and it's not funny. Like, time and time again, you see like Gregory Peck's character. Like, he is like a really like nice guy, even though he did like, lie to his wife and the whole fake baby thing. It's not a fake baby, it's a real baby. Well, is it a baby? It's part jackal. Anyway, but like he's like, "Oh, there's a priest here? Yeah, send him in." It's like a mixture of that and also he's like, "Oh, something about Rome? Uh-oh. I know about Rome. That's
I
like my
remember
deep, dark
Rome.
secret." Okay, also I'm just like, this is so obviously the 70s because actually, you know what? In the year of our Lord 2025, people have huge, massive, terrifying skeletons in their closet, and they're still like, you know what, King? I'm going to be the president. I'm going to be the prime minister. I'm going to be the biggest actor in the entire world, and no one's ever going to find out, even though everybody's getting found out all the time. But Robert Thorne, he's like, I stole a baby, technically. And no one's ever gonna find out because it happened in Italy, and no one's gonna check.
Looking there.
It's fine.
It's the
I could be the president of the United States and have a baby that I stole, and it's fine.
He looks similar,
Technically, they
so
didn't
good
steal
enough.
him. He was given to them. So
and he needed a
literally does
home,
not
so
look
they were
similar.
being philanthropic, which is a good quality for the president.
Yeah,
He
that was
took
back
in a
in the day
refugee.
when people
It's
could bury stuff
progressive.
for you a lot easier. Which we can talk about more when we get to the end. But yeah, I just love every time we see Father Brennan. He is so spooky and he has such ambiguous things to say, all quoted in scripture. And I wish he'd just be like, "Your son is the devil," by the way.
He could have been a little more straightforward.
Yeah.
And
that's not-
again, if I'm making up background, I can come up with a world in which it's like, he's an apostle of the devil and there are certain things he is bound from revealing, and so he must
No,
speak
I
in
honestly
riddles.
think so. I think that is what it is because like he gets so close to the truth in their second like full meeting.
He
by
who will
the
not be saved
riverside.
by the lamb will be torn by the beast.
Yeah, he obviously crosses the line there and he's like literally immediately smote. Like, so I feel like there are like trigger words where the devil's like, "Oh, no, you weren't supposed to say that." Time to get impaled.
Girl, I warned you with spooky shadow in Keith Jennings' photography as it got closer and closer, but you kept pushing it.
Jennings, I think, is my favorite character. Just because.
Yeah, he's great.
Anyway, that haircut that Jennings has is just something so special to me that men were walking around in the 70s with a cute, cunty little bob with front bangs. What a Time to Be Alive, bring it back. I need it. I just saw The Who last night, and I feel like Pete Townsend had like that exact same haircut for a while, and he rocked it. It was really beautiful, and I trusted him immediately because he had that haircut.
Okay, I don't know if this is just in podcast world, but I'm looking at David Warner, who plays Keith Jennings' IMDb, and he played the Doctor in at least podcast series for Doctor Who, and the guy who played Father Brennan, Patrick Troughton, he also played the Doctor in Doctor Who. So these something going on there in Britain. They're getting all the doctors involved.
Doctors are always
sick.
famous British actors, so I guess
Makes sense.
that tracks.
That makes a lot of sense.
How interesting,
Yeah,
though.
he did like a lot of stuff. I mean, he's got a spooky look to him. He's a wonderful man. He also like looks vaguely like Donald Sutherland to me. Different hair. But that something about that look to him makes me love him because we love Donnie. May he rest in peace. I think also David Warner's passed away at this point too.
I think a lot of these people have passed
So
away.
may he rest in peace as well. That's what happens when you're watching a movie from the 70s.
Yeah.
But I love the photography aspect of this movie. I mean, it's not utilized.
As a Final Destination 3 stan.
Oh my god. Yeah. No, when I had that thought today, I was like, "Oh my god, this is such an important film. This film is so important.
This is the reason we have Final Destination
so influential. No one can believe how influential it is."
The wind attacked on the priest before he got impaled. I also was like, did this inspire The Happening? That felt a little like The Happening.
Oh my
but
god.
one of you hasn't seen The Happening, right?
I've seen The Happening. Fuck The Happening. I've seen The Happening so hard that I saw when the boom mic came down into one of the shots. I will never forget that in my life. See, the movie was so bad that I won't forgive that boom mic being in the shot. But last week, I immediately forgave the microphone on
the tie.
On the tie. I immediately forgave that. See, I can be forgiving only if the rest of the movie makes it worth it. One day we should do The Happening just so we can scream and yell.
One day we will do The Happening because it's bonkers crazy.
It is batshit insane, and I would like to see it again because I can't believe the memories I'm having about it. Why can't I remember like everything about The Happening and nothing about anything that's actually good? Actually, it's really annoying.
It's a protective
Why? Because
thing,
I hate it.
Because you forget movies that are good so you can re-experience them, but you don't need to re-experience The Happening. So it's like, you don't need to have any questions about what went on in this movie. I'll just lock it in there, and then you will never feel the urge to watch it again.
Okay, sure. No one knows. That's why. That's why for sure. That's got to be why. But okay, I do want to give a shout out to our young Damien, Harvey Stevens, however you might say it. What a child that looks so scary. Like he did a really good job being terrifying. He had very light eyebrows, so he was doing the bleached brow look before anybody else. That's another influential part of this film. People saw how spooky and cool he looked, and they were like, I gotta do that. I gotta do that. But also, he is really good at giving like an evil stare for like a 5-year-old boy. Like he's doing a great job. And even more than that, he's good at giving total batshit insane freak out. He's really good at giving that.
Okay.
Oh my god.
But like the little baby actor who plays Damien, like they were having the hardest time casting him, so they just had like all these kids come in and like interact with like the director or whoever, and like
they almost were like, should we just do a girl instead? Should we start looking at girls instead?
But this kid
but that doesn't make any sense.
Kicking him in the balls and
a girl
like
would never
throwing
do that.
a fit, and they were like, cast him, but he was a blonde child, and everybody knows blonde boys, antichrist immediately. So sorry. As a natural blonde,
Oh.
I have been blonde I was red hair at first, but as a blonde ever since I was like 6 weeks old. Blonde boys
Dude.
are evil.
That's so funny because I was thinking while watching this movie, like it would make more sense if he was blonde. But also like it
Yep,
is
they dyed
spookier
his
and more
blonde
goth.
hair like more black to be like to look more goth, basically.
Yeah. It makes sense
But
aesthetically,
I'm sorry,
but
actually, the Antichrist will be
spiritually,
a blonde man, and
Uh-huh.
I 10 toes down on that one, babes.
10 toes down. Yeah. One of the parts of this movie that makes me the most crazy of all, is when Mrs. Baylock is like, if I could just give my opinion, I don't think he should go to a church. And let me just say that, like, I also don't want any children at my wedding. So I would be like, yes, Mrs. Baylock, keep the son at home. I don't want to bring a child to a wedding if I was Kathy. But Kathy wanted to bring her son to the wedding.
And she wanted him to wear a fabulous giant top hat.
As he should. That was his dad's top hat.
Oh, well, I loved it regardless.
He stole his dad's hat. I was so angry at that part. I was like, girl, like,
Girl,
fucking,
shut up.
girl,
Yeah.
shut up. She literally told you to get him ready like hours ago. And you were just like, actually, I decided he's not going to go. Are you his mother? Neither am I, but I don't know that. Like, what the fuck?
You gotta come up with a better excuse. You gotta be like, he's puking his guts out. You can't just be like, I don't think it's appropriate.
just
So
shit
I'm
everywhere.
actually the authority
Yeah.
here.
Oh my God, that made me go crazy.
Yeah, she crazy. She crazy for sure.
She is crazy. I would have fired her right then if I was Kathy. Oh my God, you can get someone else. You're a
Hello,
diplomat's
agency.
wife.
We hear you're voluntarily just giving us nannies for free. We'd like a different one, please.
Is Diplomat's Son by Vampire Weekend about Damien?
Has to be.
Trying to go over
Something
the
to
lyrics in
think
my head
about.
right now.
Also, Monica, just so you know, I saw Daphne walking behind you, and I looked because I thought it was one of my cats behind me. And I looked back and I was like, that is not my cat, actually.
We
That's
are
also
become
not my house.
one.
That's not mine.
You don't have
Your
a
walls are
table
looking a little
behind you?
green like hers right now. So
Yeah.
Anything could happen. We also
Something about
have
the lighting.
a lot of
You're both
tchotchkes
dressed
on our
goth
wall.
today.
Yeah. And we both have
goth.
cats, and my
We
cats
both
are
have
normally
bangs.
always in the video.
Oh my! It's so hard to tell you guys apart.
Yeah.
You're
We've
twins
both
today.
been drinking, so it's just so hard to tell.
I've been drinking for 6 hours.
6 hours? No, my God.
I'm
If there's that many hours, you'd be dead.
Guys, what can I say?
Season 6 hours of drinking. I haven't been doing that, but I have been watching over 6 hours of The Summer I Turned Pretty today.
Which is basically the same effect on the brain.
I haven't
but
watched 6 hours, but I'm 2.5 in also. So like
I feel
these
fucked
girlies
up.
getting caught up.
Yeah,
They
what
waited
can
for
you
the
say?
show to be over, and then they said, "I'm ready to start
gotta
my journey
binge.
now."
Okay, well,
Gotta
it's
watch.
only 3 seasons, right? And they're like 7
Yeah.
episodes each. Like, that's great. Now
Or
I
so.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I know that it's an attainable goal, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
knock that shit out. I'll be done by
Yeah.
And then
next
we'll just
week.
wait
Tomorrow.
2 years for the movie to come out.
Don't worry, I
big
gotta
deal,
read
no
the
big
books.
deal.
I put them all on
Yeah.
hold at the library today.
I'll be so curious to
Okay.
see what your thoughts are on the books after seeing the movies, because what anyway.
Anyway.
Something I have to say about
Say
Harry
it.
Steven, who plays Damien, and what you're saying about him being serving looks for realsies, is IMDb trivia said that the director said that as opposed to trying to get him to act, he had a lot of success with just trying to like provoke the reactions from that child on camera.
Mhm.
Where like at one point like with the smile at the end, he was like, okay, you can't laugh in this scene, don't laugh or I won't be your friend, so that it would like made it like impossible for him to hold it in, so he got this like little smile. And then there would be scenes where he just like other similar things like that, where he would, I don't know, I can't find the
No, it felt
thing
like
in my note, but
reacting. Because he's not in it that much, which I think is good. It's like the monster in Cloverfield. It's like every other. It's like the shark in Jaws. Like they don't show him too much, otherwise you would realize that maybe he's not an incredible actor, baby boy. And so I think they did it tastefully.
Yeah, like one of them, it says, when Damien is angry at being taken to church, Donner got his peeved facial expression by shouting to Stevens off camera, "What are you looking at, you little bugger? I'll clobber you." So, I mean, I'm like, should you talk to a child that way? But maybe it's like I'm sure he knows they're playing. So
they didn't even have child labor laws then. That's not true. You are destroying my cat. I've done collages all day, and my cat is destroying them all as we work.
As she should.
That's the Antichrist, actually.
The mark of the beast.
The mark of the beast.
She is the beast, actually.
Knocked it all on the ground. Anyway, I think that after this movie, before this movie, what did I think about baboons? Wasn't a huge fan. Wasn't like crazy about them, but like also I love an animal. I love an exotic animal. I love a like very loud and out butt, you know, like a butt that you can see and they're proud about it. I love that. And now I'm like so scared of baboons. I'm terrified of baboons.
Here's the
forever.
thing. After seeing monkeys in general, always suspicious. And then after Nope, you're like, no monkeys. And then with this one,
the Rugrats movie.
I mean, yeah, also. But like Nope, and then like this one, if all those baboons were crowding my car, I would pee my pants and like immediately floor it.
Dude, and also like apparently they went fucking batshit bonkers insane for reals. And like Leah Remix like react. Those are like real reactions. Like yes, she's an incredible actress as well, but she was like fucking terrified because they went like way crazier than they were supposed to. Which is actually part of something that I can't believe I didn't bring up already. My cat is actively scratching me. Okay, cool. There's literally the devil is with me tonight. And this is what happens when you talk about the Omen. You invoke the curse of the Omen. Because I couldn't do a single lick of research on this movie because I couldn't get past all the articles about the curse of the Omen.
Yeah.
And like we did Poltergeist. That's, you know, in many spaces.
That's the parody of Poltergeist.
Yeah. Poltergeist. That's the scary movie version of it.
That's the pole dancing ghost porn parody.
Wow. I'd watch that. But anyway, the Poltergeist, there is also like a curse on that movie. Some people died. There's some weird shit. But this movie has like a lot of shit. Like quite a few things.
IMDb trivia was interesting because it listed a bunch of them, and then if you kept reading IMDb trivia, it would be like, actually, that is not verified. Actually, this one's not verified. People are saying this, but it is not verified. This one thing is verified, but a lot of it people suspect was the PR team drumming up interest.
Well, if they did that, then I still think it's great because
it's still fun.
The list is fucking crazy, and I'm gonna read the list to you now. Was this the list? The long list of all of the very spooky, cursed, I'm using scare quotes, incidents that happened around the production of The Omen. The first one is actually very sad and dark, and so any funny things that I just said, take those away, because this one's actually serious. But the first one is, unfortunately, Gregory Peck's son committed suicide 2 months before the start of filming. So it's already like this really dark headspace for Gregory Peck, and maybe that is part of why his performance is so gutting and it's so visceral, especially when it comes to the points later on in the film where he's considering like having to kill his son in the movie. Yeah, so that really adds a lot of depth to his performance. But yeah, he used his grief to channel that performance. Anyway, then next is in October 1975, Peck was on his way to London when his aircraft was struck by lightning. Okay, that's crazy. But okay, it happened once. A few weeks later, producer Mace Newfield was on his way to the shoot when his airplane was also struck by lightning while crossing the Atlantic. Well, that's crazy. It'd be weird that that it even happened once. Really weird that it happened twice. But then also screenwriter David Seltzer took a plane journey that was also struck by, you guessed it, lightning. Okay, that's 3 times now.
We'd have 3 nickels.
It can't have possibly happened a fourth time. And don't worry, it didn't. But it was pretty close because producer Harvey Bernard narrowly missed being hit by lightning while filming was underway in Rome. So that's another thing that happened. This one was crazy. There was like a change in the schedule for filming where I think Gregory Peck was gonna be needed on set, but then it was like delayed, and so they didn't need him. Whatever it was, they had a flight or a plane scheduled to take Gregory Peck where he needed to go to film, but they canceled it. And then the next flight that plane took, the plane crashed and killed everyone on board. And then apparently the plane struck a car on the road below when it crashed, killing all the occupants in the car, who happened to be the wife and the 2 children of the plane's pilot. These are the words I'm starting to be like, no fucking way, right? Like, that's horrible. That's fucking horrible. I hope that's not true. This is part of the lore, though.
Trivia says basically all of the plane ones. It's like, that's unverified. And you'd think there would be able to verify a plane crash that killed everyone on board that crashed into. But yeah, no, that's so true. That's part of the thing too, is like,
70s.
well, who knows? It was another country in the 70s.
I love this lore. This is like the best curse list I've ever seen. I'm not the people who died. Not the people who died. I don't love that the people died. Anyway, next one was, oh my god, this one was crazy. There was the special effects supervisor, John Richardson's girlfriend, was decapitated in a car accident that mirrored the famous death of Jennings in The Omen. And this is where it gets so crazy that I don't think this part is real. Richardson claimed that he was there, like, in the accident. He said that he saw a road sign off to one side of the accident that pointed out the town of Omen, Ommen, at 66.6 kilometers away. This can't be real. This can't be real, but it's on all of the sites. So I don't know. And then this is real. They had a lot of trouble with all the animals on set. So the Rottweilers, who are so spooky, the hellhounds that are in this movie, they went like fucking berserk during this movie. And once we get to the graveyard scene, I have a clip that I want to share with you guys where I saw some weird business that I think like adds to this. But like one of the Rottweilers used for filming went crazy, and he attacked stuntman Terry Walsh and bit through his protective gear. But luckily Terry was okay. And then also like the baboons went extra fucking crazy. And then, just in case you thought that wasn't enough, the IRA is now involved. Okay, the IRA is now involved.
Of course, the IRA is involved.
There was like a lot of IRA like bombings happening at this time when this was filmed. Like there's a lot of stuff going on. And so apparently Richard Donner was staying at this hotel, and he left. He left because his stay was over. And the very next day, it was bombed by the IRA. So he narrowly was bombed himself. And oh yeah, this is another one that I actually hadn't read before. The day after the baboon scene, somebody got killed by a big cat at that same zoo, apparently. That one also feels like they could have lied. But that's a lot of things. How many bullet points was that? That was almost as long.
And
that was almost as long as the Descent of 47 verse or whatever the fuck. Like, that's a lot of points. And a lot of them are just like super unsettling. It's weird how like the animals were acting so strangely throughout too, because that is such like a part of the film. And
yeah, the baboons, I'm like, those are wild animals. I don't know how well trained those could all be for filming. So having all of the filming equipment around, you could see how, like in Nope, it's just gonna be
Let me live in the moment, Chelsea.
Them. But the dogs presumably are trained for filming things and to be performing in that way. And apparently the main dog who lived in the house, that dog was like very smiley friendly, and wanted to be friends and didn't want to be scary on camera, but the graveyard dogs were just trouble.
No, okay, well, let's talk about it now. I have a clip that I will share somehow with the masses, but we'll share specifically with you, spooky girlies, right now. Um, did you guys notice anything in the background during that scene? With the dogs when they're attacking Jennings and Thorne in the graveyard? Because they are there, and Gregory Peck is being impaled through his arm, and he's hanging off the fence, and Jennings is trying to get over the fence, and the dogs are coming in and encroaching on them. And I couldn't tell if this is intentional or an issue, but now knowing what I know about the dogs, you can see people in the background behind the trees as the dogs are like attacking. And so I was like, is this supposed to be like fucking oh fuck, what's it called? The Ari Aster movie, Hereditary, where there's like, oh, the cult
They're
is
lurking.
everywhere. They're lurking in the background. But now I'm like, no, I think this was like they were having issues with the dogs and this is the shot that they got, and I feel like those are the handlers. But if you sorry I didn't edit it all up for you guys. But if you go towards the end, you can see like towards the very end once they cut to the dog. Yeah, it's at like 30 seconds into the video. There's like very apparent faces behind the tree as it's in as the Rottweilers are being shown. So I feel like that could have been the trainers, trying to keep tabs on them or like make sure that everything was going okay. But there's like some very like erratic like people's faces moving behind the trees if you look at that video. So anyway, interesting, very interesting. I felt smart. I didn't look that up anywhere. I just
Oh,
saw it
I
with
see
my
one now.
own
I was like, what are
eyes.
you
Yeah.
talking about? It took me a long time, but I see him now.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
what the fuck am I
I
looking
think
at?
it is just an issue with the dogs, but definitely before the dogs started attacking, when they were just setting up the shots that were like someone is watching them, I for sure thought that there was going to be more people cult stuff around.
Yeah, it feels like the team is small, like as far as like humans. I don't know. It's not a small team. There's obviously like a lot of people working on it, but like I don't think that it's supposed to be like some silent spooky majority that's hiding behind the scenes. I do think that that was just like an issue with the dogs. But I think that that is cool. It is a cool thing to spot. Um but I think also as far as like the photography stuff goes, that's what we were talking about before. I'm glad that they used it sparingly, because part of me was like, why didn't he have like a photo of something happening to Kathy or something happening to Gregory or something? And I think that would have been, or sorry, not Gregory, Robert, right? Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that would
Robert
have
Thorne.
been maybe too much use of that.
That is kind of one of my discussion questions, or really my only discussion question that I have specifically written down in that section of my notes. But it was, would Keith taking a picture of Kathy damn her in some way? Or would it reveal some clue that might prevent his death? Or is her fate already sealed, whether they have foresight into what's going to happen or not? Because we can see in Final Destination 3 that having the pictures doesn't always mean you know what you're looking for in the clues, and if there's more than one picture, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think we ever really went back and looked at photos of her from the birthday party, and that also might have been like too early on, perhaps.
Yeah, no, we never saw those.
But I was kind of like, why doesn't he ask Keith to take a picture of Kathy if he's been warned that Kathy is going to die, or that Damien is going to kill Kathy? And then I was kind of like, well, maybe that would not necessarily reveal anything. Maybe that would, I don't know. It's
I
one of
have
those is everything faded or not kind of questions.
I think that it's not necessarily fated here unless you're one of the damned. So if you got the mark of the devil and you're going against the devil, like
He gonna get
he
you.
he's gonna get fucked. Father Brennan was
Brenner.
gonna get Brenner
Brennan?
was gonna get I don't know. Was gonna get fucked regardless. So that's why he would show up
Brennan.
first. But like she wouldn't have been on the devil's radar. Not that she's not on his radar, but she wasn't doubting her son at the point where those photos would have been taken of her at the birthday party. She
That's
had no
true.
reason to doubt her son. She loved her son. There was no issues. He hadn't started punching her in the face and ripping off her beautiful blue turban. Um, so she didn't have that sort of thing. Maybe it would have changed, and I don't think that like the plan was to kill her until she like started to be so um until she became pregnant and until started to become so suspicious of her own son and like
Yeah.
confiding in the doctor and stuff like that. Then like she became a liability. And then also like I don't think the plan was for Robert Thorne to die as early as he did because the whole prophecy that Brennan gives out is that like once his father is established, which like ideally he would have been becoming president, that's like the seat of power that the antichrist would want to be positioned in to be like the first son. That would be better than like a diplomat to England. I mean, it's a great thing. It's a very great thing to be. But it's not like this. It doesn't hold the same power. He doesn't have like the power of the free world or whatever they say the president has. Um, so I don't think that the plan went right. Caveat: we'll talk about the end later. So I don't think
Yeah.
his death would have showed up on there either. Because also, even to like the 11th hour, Robert didn't want to kill his son. Even when he had so much evidence against him, he still wanted to believe that his son was not a devil or the son, the devil's own son, as they say.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's like, well, again, not to discuss the ending too soon, but that was like a reshoot that they did later on. It wasn't the original plan for the ending. But let's just say that it was always the plan for the plot. Then you could say that Father Brennan's interpretation is skewed just based on the information that he has. And that's so often a thing with prophecies in media and in storytelling is that trying to prevent the prophecy, trying to interpret the prophecy is what can bring the
Enact it.
prophecy into being. Yeah,
Because if
because
it was the
fate is
prophecy,
fate, and yeah, it's always
yeah,
going
it's
to
always it's a
happen.
foregone conclusion.
And that's the whole thing with like Oedipus and how he was like fated to kill his dad and steal his mom and whatever. And so it's like they cast the baby out. And by casting the baby out, they put the baby in the position to grow up to be a man who's like coming in to take over the kingdom kind of thing. So you could certainly argue that the mom was always part of the plan, the dad was always part of the plan, so to get him into the position for the end, if we have to take the story as we see it, but he just like doesn't know what's going to happen, so he's using the information he has, which is this guy wants to be president, he has presidential ambition, so it must be him that the antichrist is supposed to inherit his whole, he's the heir to the kingdom. But I don't know, it's interesting. I definitely think that there's room for the antichrist to be pivoting when someone is doubting him and is now a liability, and I also think it could just be like it wasn't her time yet. And I also think there is room for this movie to be another antichrist baby pro-abortion film where it's like if she had just been allowed to get that abortion that she wanted,
Yeah,
then
Jesus.
this could have been totally different. But again, he's trying to prevent the prophecy that he gets by Father Brennan, which is that she's pregnant, she'll lose the pregnancy, and then she'll die. And so he's like, if I can make sure the baby comes to term, maybe the rest of it also won't happen. And in doing so, he maybe condemns her to her fate.
Yeah, it's so hard because, you can't know how everything will trickle down, but like at the same time, like leaving your wife with the antichrist child around and like no like armed guard or anything like that, like that was a little bit of a interesting move when he went on his journey. I know he was like going to try to find answers and he thought she would be safe in the hospital, but the hospital is filled with doctors, not armed guards.
Yep.
It's a different.
And also, there's 800 million ways to die in a hospital.
Yeah,
It's not safe.
it's easy to put in a hit at a hospital. Miss
I
Baylock just
loved-
walked in and was like, "Bye, bitch,
Yeah.
gone." Yeet you head first through the ambulance.
I did love her fall over the railing, though, the staircase railing or the balcony railing. We talked about that a little bit earlier, just in terms of how it was filmed and the effects and stuff. But him riding around on his little tricycle, it felt very like The Shining didn't come out too much after this movie, but that felt like a yoink for sure.
It did. It absolutely did. The Shining was, I think, in 1980, so it was like
Yeah.
4 years
I mean, I don't
later.
know when the book was written, and I don't know if the tricycle's in the book, but him on his little trike riding around, that felt very present.
Shining came out in 1977.
The book?
Mhm.
Okay, so I mean, it would be down to the wire to be adding that in. And again, I don't know if the trike thing is part of the books or not. But I feel certain that in the movie, at least visually, it would be a reference or an homage of sorts, even if it is true to the source material as well. But that and Planet Terror, I was thinking about both of those little tricycles in this movie.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. So good. Yeah, no, I think that my favorite part of the whole movie is the fish part with that fall.
What is she doing? What where does
The
fish
fish
bowl come
bowl
from?
was on a side table and she was trying to fix a hanging plant, and when she was
Okay.
trying to adjust it, it kept like dropping dirt into her eyes. So she picked up the fish bowl off of the side table that was right there and moved it over so she could use the side table to stand up and adjust the plant. And then
she got knocked.
Okay,
she
but
got
here's
knocked.
the thing. Fun fact about the fish in that bowl. The director was like, I refuse to kill goldfish for
Yes.
this scene. So they took like canned sardines and painted them orange and just had them in like floating in a bowl.
Animal
That's
rights.
so funny.
PETA would have been so proud.
Oh, no, the iconic tricycle Danny rides in Stanley Kubrick's film The Shining is not in Stephen King's original book. It was a
Well, there you
creative
go.
addition to the movie by Kubrick and his team.
So definitely feels like an homage then. Not that Danny is the Antichrist, of course, but just to be adding some intrigue or concern or sending up red flags, just of like sense memory. I remember a tricycle that had bad vibes. What's gonna happen, etc., etc.
Yeah, that's such a good scene. Such a good scene. I even love the weird fall. I also love the obvious stunt actress who is flying out the window of the ambulance because, like, her arm, I don't know, maybe she's just so scared that she breaks free of her cast and her arms are flailing around, but her arms are, like, no longer, like, held down by the cast anymore. So it's kind of like makes it a little extra disturbing, that scene. But yeah, and I really love the like not buddy cop, but like good buddy parts of this film where it's just Jennings and Thorne going on a little adventure to figure things out together. I love the set dressing for Brennan's room where he can see the church and the Bible verses or the Bible pages of the Bible are glued up all over everything. Oh, I think that just is
I did put
spectacular and so
kind of
spooky.
sleigh decor in my notes.
Oh yeah, very goth. Love that. um, and there's nothing that this is so fucked up, but like the part of this movie that is the most absolutely crazy to me. Actually, okay, I'm ahead of myself. But the craziest part to me is the reveal of the OG pastor or father, reverend, who had been in the fire, and the horrible makeup that they did to give him the spooky eye.
He's
That was
doing
like
his penance.
but I think the funniest thing in the whole movie to me that scared me the most was the fact that they have fucking elevators like that in that
Yeah.
hospital in Rome. Are you serious? It's just an open thing that's
And you
always
just
going.
step right on in. Yeah.
How many people died in one of those? Millions, hundreds of thousands, 666 at least. Terrifying.
Yeah. It is spooky. It's very spooky.
It's so spooky. And that's just like how it was. That's not even part of the movie, really. That's just the building. The movie does start feeling like Indiana Jones to me a little bit, though, when they start like
yeah, we have to go to all these new
excavating.
locations and dig up graves and
Yeah.
do an archaeological dig and
Yeah. Something that I didn't understand having watched this movie several times until reading things. When they go to the graveyard and they uncover the grave of the mother and it's actually
A jackal.
a dog, a jackal. I thought that I was like, wow, she's still alive and they just put a dog in there. So I didn't understand that it was literally a jackal. That was literally the mom was literally a jackal. That was a shock to me. That was a surprise. That was certainly a surprise. And they also apparently retcon that in Last Omen, just so you know, so you can be prepared.
First Omen.
Fuck. Called the Last Omen actually.
Every time.
The Last Omen.
Well, in the Last Omen, they actually do it different. So
in the last Omen movie that there was, that's what I was saying. That's what
yeah.
That's
And
what
I knew
saying.
that's what you were saying,
Exactly.
and I just was clarifying for the listener.
No, thank you so much for doing that. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Because they're not as in tune with you as I am, but
yeah. They'll get there though. They're close.
they will. Yeah.
um.
The reveal of the baby skeleton is crazy though, with a big old hole in its skull. And he starts to lose his shit. Yeah, and he's just like, they murdered him as soon as he was born. Murderers. Like, yeah, that's real.
No, yeah, it's like we're joking around a lot, but there's just like some really fucking deeply emotional shit going on in this movie. Like it's really a moving performance from Gregory Peck. It's really effective. I was so locked in when I was watching it this morning. I was just like could not take my eyes away from the screen. That's why I noticed those people in the background because I was like zoomed in. This is a great morning movie, by the way. Might make you have a bad day, but cloudy morning this movie. Oof, real nice. Yeah. But
yeah, it was rainy last night, so it was a very chill morning this morning. And I watched this with my dad because whenever there's a 70s movie, I'm always just like, do you want to watch it with me? And we had the fireplace going even. And then there was like one scene in Damien's room where he had the fireplace going in his room. And I was like, oh my God, we're actually so aligned. So that's why I had to dress up as him.
You look so incredible, I will say.
You really
I
slayed
cannot
it.
stop looking at you.
Thank you. I made this bow tie out of cardboard. I colored it in with
really,
Sharpie.
It's really beautiful.
That's why it catches the light sometimes, and you're
sometime.
like, whoa. I'd love to borrow your bow tie sometime if I have enough foresight.
One of the weird thing, I'm really good at tying bow ties. Again, a perk of going to college in the South.
I literally have no idea how to even tie a normal tie. For last episode, Adam tied that tie for me.
Hot. And did he stand behind you or did he stand in front of you?
He should
have to do it like it was his tie.
Yeah, he did it on himself, and then he put it on
then like made it big.
Yeah, it would have been like very sexy
I'm
if
like,
he
it
had
would
like
have
been
been so
behind
hot
me
if he stood
tying the
behind
tie.
you to like
Oh
tie
my
Tell
it.
him for
god.
next time.
It's like, oh, let me help you with your swing. That's what that feels like. I'm sorry that had to be about
I'll
golf.
teach you
It
how
could
to
be about
play
baseball.
pool.
Right, it's pool. Pool. That's a hot one. Golf, not hot. Um, yeah,
Could be
I think
bracket
there's just so
ball,
many things.
or with the mallet from Heather's. What's
Remember,
that one?
bocce ball or
Yes.
another one. There's another one that's similar. It's
Anyway,
bocce ball and another one. Whatever. It's crazy to me. Here's one thing that I really thought that I was like, I know what's gonna happen. I've seen this movie before, so I know it's gonna happen. When the father that survived the fire, the reverend that survives the fire, I don't know his name. I will find it. No, I won't. Anyway, that guy, you know who I'm talking about. Maybe it's Father Spoleto. He is like
I
trying
think
to
that's right.
write. It is Father Spoleto. He's trying to write down the word, and he's having a wonderful time trying to do that. He's not. But the bell is ringing, and it's ringing, and it's ringing, and it's ringing so much. I was like, oh my God, the bell is going to fall through the roof and smash him. And I was so sure that was going to happen. I was 100% positive. I was like, that's the next death. I've seen it before. And then that didn't happen. And I was super disappointed. So, anyway, that's my one edit to the film. They should have had him get smashed by the bell. I'm so sorry.
There
I
were a
really
lot of
thought
times where I thought something really bonkers was going to happen, and then it was just more of a slow burn movie than I was anticipating, I guess.
But we got the guy's head getting chopped off.
Yeah, that was great. I loved that. The pane of glass just sliding. Because I thought when they were at the cemetery before Gregory Peck got caught on one of the spikes kind of looked like, roughly speaking, the same shape as the shadow from Keith's photograph. And I was like, oh, this is where he's about to die. And then that was not the case. But his death was way cooler than, I don't know, getting stabbed in the head on or the neck on one of those fence spikes. So
Yeah. Oh my God. When he gets impaled in the arm, I almost threw up though. Something about that really not for me. Um, but the end of this movie is like it's so good, but it makes me so angry. Like not the very very end, but like the whole last action scene with Robert, and he finally like has to come to terms with the fact that like his son is Damien, the devil's own son. His son is not his son. It's actually the devil's own son. The question has been answered. But like I love how horrific that whole sequence is, where he like still won't believe it after everything he's seen, and he's cutting away his hair, and he finally sees the mark of the beast. Like it's just so gutting, and oh, that's hidden in his hairline. It's just so sad that like even after everything, his wife is gone, his wife is dead. That's another part when he finds out about his wife dying. I just think that his acting in that moment is really spectacular.
apparently Gregory Peck wanted to play it like way bigger and start like trashing the room, and he had a real disagreement with the director. And eventually, I mean, this is all IMDb, so again, who knows if it's true. But eventually he was just like, well, I'm the actor and you're the director, so I guess I have to do it your way. So he just gave in and did it the way that the director wanted. And then when he saw the dailies later, he was like, oh, okay, you were right.
Not
Okay,
that
you were
much better.
right. That it was like very well done, and like it does look good, and it is like emotionally effective.
So emotionally effective.
And it
Ugh.
makes sense because he was warned, and she said, don't let him kill me. And she begged him, like, please help me. Help. She doesn't know the narrative significance of the abortion, but she like begs him, I want to have an abortion. Please let me see a doctor. Please talk to my doctor. And so we can get on the same page about this. And he just keeps being like, no, I'm in charge. I'm the man. I know best. And so I'm just going to do things my way. And then I think that's a big part of it. It's not just that his beautiful, 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 beautiful wife of 20 years younger than him, but beautiful wife is dead. It's also that he knows to some degree he played a part in it. Could he have
Yeah.
prevented it? I don't know. But he certainly did not listen to her when she begged him for help on more than one occasion.
Yeah. Like his worst nightmares are all coming to pass. Like he can't beat this. And then it's also like, what is the point of even trying to beat this now when his wife is gone? But then he has to think of, all of humanity. So
Yeah.
nice of him to keep going.
And I totally get that it's like, this is the child that you've raised for 5 years and have loved and bathed and read bedtime stories to for 5 years, regardless of if it's your biological child. That is your child.
And regardless of it being your child, it's a child.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
have to kill a child, just any child. I feel like that'd be a lot harder to kill than any other Joe Schmo on the street,
And so I totally understand him being in a position where he would rather believe that his wife is crazy and can become well with help, and that he doesn't have to do anything horrible. um but unfortunately he's in the movie The Omen, and this is the antichrist, and
It's the
it's
devil's own
just so
son.
much more complicated than that. But it's so frustrating when she's saying, the doctor's like, she has this fantasy that the child is not hers, and he knows that the child is not hers, and he still is like, I'm just gonna let her be afraid and scared and thinks that she's delusional, rather than like clue her in so that we can be a team.
He's like living the lie. It doesn't excuse it, but that's what it is. He like is like, if I feed into it like it's true, then maybe it will be. But that's not how it works, honey. I have a theory,
Uh-huh.
and it's a pretty obvious one. Um, but I'm skipping right past Mrs. Baylock dying. She dies. Okay, that's terrible. She really puts in a good fight. She's doing a lot of fights.
There's
Good
more
for
of a
her.
fight apparently, and then they just cut it down because they're like, we don't need all this.
It's already almost a 2-hour long
It's,
movie,
yeah,
so
it's enough.
it felt that it was enough. Um, but I we've thought this for years, but now we have proof. The cops are in the devil's pocket, because how is that cop right there at the exact wrong time to see him the second that he leaves his house? It's all part of the devil's plan. There's no way for that. That's just like the most shittiest timing of all time.
Here's the thing: the devil, like a good woman, keeps a Google Cal, and he has everything planned.
You
He's
have to be
like,
organized to get anything
You
done.
gotta be.
exactly. He's like, I'm gonna coerce this cop to be sitting right there to see him do a little speed, and boom, it's all over. He didn't even have a chance to stab that child because he was
Yeah.
already being shot with a gun.
I am once again willing to believe that at some point he got some authorities involved after
Yeah, that's
he
the
was trying to flee the
real
country with
answer.
his wife, and was like, let's just have security in place at the house. And then they're like, we don't know what's going on, but something is going on, and we don't know what the deal is, but it seems like there's some sort of diplomatic issue that we need to attend
Logic,
to.
reason. No, the cops are in the back pocket of the Dark Lord, okay? That is the right answer, but I like my theory.
Well, I mean, they certainly are within the context of the finished movie, because like I was saying earlier, in the original script, um Damien dies.
Yeah.
In the original
Really?
script, yeah, the movie was supposed to be that Robert Thorne, I think, does kill him first and then is shot by police, I think, from my
But they couldn't
understanding.
show a
And then
baby
they were
dying.
gonna have like 3 caskets at the end or whatever, maybe, or I don't know exactly what the plan was. But it was, I think both they got scared of showing a baby dying and being stabbed, and also they were like, he's the son of the devil, can he really be beaten? Can they really beat him? Is that realistic that they're able to successfully put a stop to him?
And how will we do
um
3 sequels if we kill him?
Not
There
that
are
they,
3
I think,
sequels.
really stay super true to the canon of this film, from
There's
what I
one that
understand.
came
Haven't seen
out
those,
in
but
91. There is a the Omen 4 comes out in 91. must see it. I must
Gotta
see it.
see
It's
it.
gotta be horrible.
Well, when I was Googling the Omen Final Destination, apparently the Omen 2 is like very Final Destination-y.
Ooh.
So yeah, I'm certainly
Well, we should
curious.
watch
And
that
then
one.
Harvey Stevens, who plays Damien in this movie, he makes a cameo in the 2006 The Omen as like one of the paparazzi photographers, I guess.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
so
Yeah, that was
and
pretty good.
yeah, I'm interested in the larger Omen franchise. I'm not
The
like rushing
Omenverse.
to watch the larger Omen verse, but I'm interested. Um, but yeah, the end was interesting though, because right as he was wrestling him down to the floor of the church and all of those things, I was like, has Damien talked at all in this movie? Like, I'm sure he did earlier, but I
He's
was
just
starting to be
hee
like, we
ha
haven't seen
Very
him
his way
little.
talking
through this movie.
so long. Does he speak? And then he finally was like, please, daddy, no, no, daddy, no. So that was when he really started. And I was like, okay, so he does speak.
So
He does
unsettling.
talk.
No, I love that ending, and I also thought that they set it up really well too, because at first I was like, okay, so that he's just the son of the president now? Like, how does that work? But they set it up earlier in the movie, when Kathy and Robert are walking down this beautiful lane by a river, right before
She's
they think
dragging a dog on a
Damien,
stick.
yeah, right before they think Damien drowned. Um, they are talking about like plans that they're making, and they like reference how Robert is really close friends with the president and they're
College
old college
roommates.
roommates. Yeah. So like it you could then make the jump that maybe they're so close that they're the godparents of this
Mm-hmm.
child. So maybe this was God's plan, and by that I mean devil's plan all along, to kill off Robert
Yeah.
and Kathy so they would revert to their godparents, which are
We
the
don't want to wait for Robert to have
presidente.
to become the president. We can just skip to the president right now.
Yeah, which makes a lot more sense. Expedite this shit.
I don't want to. I know I'm only 5, but I don't have all the time in the world.
Here's the thing. If the current president had a 5-year-old, I think everybody would be like, antichrist, it only makes sense.
My
Yeah.
suitcase.
I like my
Dude,
Parents
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not
When
go
they
there.
were really okay, the whole prophecy I hate. It's not real. It's not really in the book of Revelations. Let's be so clear, that is not a real prophecy. But the whole prophecy and being like, oh, the eternal sea, that must mean politics. That's what the people think. Like, all right. Didn't love though that they kept being like, when the Jews return to Zion and blah blah blah.
which
But it
they do believe, like, one of the reasons why like evangelical Christians are so supportive of Israel is because they do believe that Israel as a state have to exist, otherwise they will never be able to be raptured.
once all of the Jews go back to Israel. Yeah, I
Yeah.
tried to research that because I was like, isn't that a thing? And I don't know how widespread that belief is, but certainly there are factions that believe that they won't have the second coming of Christ or the rapture until all of the Jews fucking head back over to Israel.
Yeah, Israel has to
Um,
exist.
so that's why the Christo-fascist right is so supportive of Israel and
Israel.
anti-Semitic at the same time.
Yep. They hate them, but they
Actually
got to
makes
exist,
perfect
so we
sense
got
for
to support
them.
them.
But I don't know. That part was fucked up. A different part that was not fucked up, but that just was funny to me, is that he can just like carry the knives in his lap on the plane. He just is like,
the
it's
70s.
pre 9/11. You can do whatever you want. There's that Twilight Zone episode where the guy brings a gun on the plane. It was you could do anything back
That's
in
how it
those
is.
days.
Yeah. Anyway, is it time for our
Segmentos?
I don't know.
It's
Maybe
time.
I'm not invested in this bit. We'll see.
How could this
It comes and it
movie
goes.
be gayer?
I was gonna say, I think both Kathy and Robert are bisexual. I don't know
Yeah,
why. I just feel it spiritually in my bones by the way that they banter. I go straight.
And that makes
well,
me feel better about their
funny.
20-year age gap, because now they have something in common that they're really connecting about, which is
Yeah.
being part of the queer community.
Exactly.
I think they swing with the president and the first lady.
Yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
just like not
Hundo
feeling it that day, which is why she's like, you go on without me. The three of you will still have a blast.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. She's having a hard time at that point. And I also think that there is a light vibe between Jennings
Yeah.
and Robert. There's something happening there.
There's
I
that
think that
scene where he just found out that Kathy died, but where they're on side by side beds. I was like, give them enough time. And
it's too soon right now, but
it's too soon right now, but enough time heals all wounds. And if they're swingers, he's able to be having relationships with other people that doesn't feel like it diminishes his love for his wife.
totally.
So
There's something there because Jennings definitely is
giving gay.
bisexual. Yeah.
He's
or
giving
gay.
Trent Krim, the Independent, a little bit from Ted Lasso.
Oh, it's been so long since I watched that show, so I barely remember, but I trust you. And I believe you. Okay. Any other gay thoughts you'd like to share?
So many more gay thoughts.
Okay, Matthew Lillard. Where would we cast him in this movie? Wasn't
I think he
born
would have
in,
made
like-
an incredible photographer.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he would have been a Slade Jennings for sure. He would have rocked that role.
I mean, was he 6 at this time? Wasn't he born in 1970?
Yeah, he was 6.
Ah,
Yeah, he was 6. He could
could
have
have been
been
Damien.
fucking Damien. Oh my god. Matthew Lillard at 6.
And he would have been
Antichrist.
5 at the time of filming.
It would have been perfect.
Wow. It's perfect.
And he's American, and Damien is American, even though he's being raised as a little British child.
That's it. That's it. Finally, a starring role for him. I bet that he would have talked a lot more.
Yep.
Would have been a lot
You
more.
wouldn't have been able to get him to shut up.
He would have done a lot more freaky tongue stuff too. That really
Mhm.
fits with the role. The serpent being like a vehicle of the devil. It makes
Mhm.
a lot of sense. Are you thinking about it? Now you are. There you go.
Although that one scene where Damien kept meowing or whatever as he's like running around and Kathy is just like about to explode her brain. I did love that. And I think Matthew Lillard, he'd slay that scene as a baby.
That brings us to the dumb bitch. And unfortunately, it hurts me to say this, but it is Robert.
Yeah.
Because I love him so much, and he's obviously a very caring man and an incredible performance. But you shouldn't lie to your wife about her child being dead and give her a baby that's not her baby and do an illegal adoption and then refuse to let her get an abortion when she wants an abortion and then leave her unguarded in a hospital when she's broken her arm and her spine.
Agreed.
Yeah. I also just think again, we talked about how Father Brennan is probably psychologically or physically in some way literally limited in what information he's allowed to share and reveal, but it also just felt like Robert was not asking a lot of the right questions because Father Brennan told him you have to be Christian and take communion, but it's well, what do I do about Damien? He didn't say anything about what to do about Damien. He just said you be Christian, and it's is that going to stop my son from being the antichrist? Is there anything supposed to do there? And then Father Brennan died. So it's well, there's no more questions can be asked. So
yeah, no, he wasn't asking the good questions. I know he was unprepared. It's hard to be prepared to find out that your son
but
is
if you
the
hear
devil's
that
own
your
son.
child is the antichrist and that he's going to kill your wife, do you really think that eating the flesh of Christ and drinking the blood of Christ is going to be enough? Something that you're doing? What about Damien? He's not asking any questions about what do I do about Damien?
No, he's the dumb bitch for sure. 100p. Okay, well then that brings us to our knives out of 5. So Chelsea, set the scene.
This movie, numbers are kind of lower than I expected, to be honest. On IMDb, it has a 7.5 out of 10. Not that that's low, but lower than I expected. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has 85% fresh from critics and 81% fresh from audiences. However, It did really crazy well at the box office. I said earlier, Gregory Peck came out of retirement for this for the most part.
Oh my god, and he's
And
beloved.
yes, and he took like a smaller salary up front in exchange for like a percentage of box office returns, and then it ended up being his highest paid role, just because
Oh
the
my
box
god.
office did so well. IMDb trivia said at the time of its release, this was the third highest grossing horror film in history after Jaws and The
Wow.
Exorcist.
Mhm.
So it had like a $2.8 million budget, and it made just like a zillion times that. And it won an Academy Award. So
For what?
it was nominated. It was nominated for the best original song for Ave Satani, which I believe is the
Oh,
opening song in
didn't
the
even
chanting,
talk
the
about
Latin
how good the
chanting.
music is. The music
The
is
opening is so good.
the music's so good throughout, and also specifically that song. I finished the movie and then I went immediately back to The Summer I Turned Pretty, and it was the speech in the season 2 premiere from Steven. And I was watching it and I was like, this is such an interesting choice for music in the background. It's like really haunting. And the movie had started playing again, so it was playing that song over The Summer I Turned Pretty. And I was like, had gotten so used to that backdrop for the last 2 hours that I was like, I guess this is just how it is. Anyway, deserves
It's
an
just a good
Oscar.
opener in general. The song is great, and also the image of like the silhouette of the little boy casting the shadow of the upside
Yes.
down cross, like iconic.
So iconic.
But so that song was nominated for Best Original Song, and then what it won for was Best Music Original Score overall, for
Oh,
Jerry Goldsmith.
His one and
he
only
also
Oscar.
yeah, I don't
wow.
remember if it was like he also kind of came out of retirement to do the score for this, but it was like he really didn't want to go to the Oscars because he'd been nominated in the past and hadn't won, and he was like, it makes me too nervous. I can't do it again." So he was like there, nervous, shitting his brains out, basically. And then he won, so good for him.
Yay.
And then I got some other award recognition as well, but the two highlights that I have in my notes are at the 1977 BAFTA Awards. Billy Whitelaw, who plays Mrs. Baylock, was nominated for Best Supporting Actress. And at the 1977 Golden Globes, Harvey Stephens, who plays Damien, was nominated for Best Acting Debut in a Motion Picture Male. So, some
Good for
highlights for Damien,
him.
some highlights for Mrs. Baylock, and that music is what really took the cake.
That's amazing. Okay, who wants to go first?
I'll go. I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5. I had a great time. I love 70s horror. Like,
Yes.
there's just like something about the way like they all look so cohesive, right? Like, you know what period they are, like, and this movie, again, without this movie, we would never have Final Destination 3.
Yeah.
And
mean,
that is
that's the
just
salvation.
this is like the ancient text.
Yeah.
This is
a clear
this
line.
is the ancient satanic text.
Exactly.
It's this and The Exorcist.
Yeah,
Which
like
only-
without this movie, we probably would never have had the satanic panic in the 80s, which was like such an iconic time period, right? Like, I do wonder though, because like, what's her name? Miss Bayless?
Baylock.
Baylock.
Baylock. Like, they almost took her out of the movie to make it more ambiguous. And I wonder what kind of movie that would have been.
Yeah.
If
It would have been really curious, morally speaking, about Robert's character
Right?
if you weren't sure that he was the Antichrist. And it's like, does he do it? Does he not do it?
do it. So I always kind of wonder, like, but she's
I don't-
such a good, like, creepy, ooky character that I get why they didn't want to take her out. But I do kind of wonder, because, like, I think if they would have taken her out, it would have been such a, like, because this came
An
out in 76, like,
A24
it
movie.
would have been such a, like, with the satanic panic, how everybody didn't know what was going on. They just like assumed it would have been such a great precursor to that being
Yeah.
like,
No, I'm with you. I think that that would be an amazing remake now to do
right?
it with that kind of a vibe. I was just saying, I think it would be like an A24 slow burn,
Yes.
like where you're like, are they losing their minds? Whatever. I think that would be really,
So
really incredible.
good.
I don't think that movie could have come out really in the 70s, though, to have it like
No,
be
they
so
had to have had
ambiguous and then to be like hurting a child. I just don't know if the world would have accepted that. And I don't think it would have been nearly as successful as it was. Like
I
that.
think honestly, even in modern day horror media, it felt like such a huge thing in the pilot of The Walking Dead when he shoots that little baby girl and like
Mhm.
she's a zombie and we know she's a zombie when he does it. You know what I mean? So to have it be a little child and to be like, we don't even know for sure, and that's 30 years before, it's such a different question.
No, totally. But yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I'm like, do I even like give this like a 5? Maybe I'll give it a 4.8. I'm gonna give it a 4.8. Because I did like, no, I don't know. It is so good, and I think it was just like my brain because it really grabbed me this morning. I think that this is a well paced, like haunting film. And I'm right there with you. It feels like folk horror to me. You know how I don't like religious horror, right? Usually, it's just not usually my steez because I just like don't. I'm not religious, but I love
It's harder
folk
to buy
horror.
in sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love folk horror, which is usually like a paganism version, you know what I mean? But like the way that this was handled felt more folk horror to me, like just the way that it looks, it feels, like the perspective maybe. And really it's just like an incredible performance from Gregory Peck. Like you can
Yes.
feel that raw energy he was bringing to this from the recent loss of his own son, which like really colors his performance knowing that. Um but yeah, I'm really glad we finally did this movie on the podcast because it is just so iconic and it's so cool to see
How old
something
is
that is.
Gregory Peck in this movie?
I don't know.
Because
Let's
in
see
like
when he was
I
1976,
think
born.
he was born in 1916 because earlier I was like, his
16,
wife
yeah.
looks so much younger than him. I wonder how old they actually are. And
right?
the actress is like 19, 20 years younger.
Right?
But
Because
so I
like,
think he was born in, so he was like
He was 60.
60.
yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I was trying to
Yeah, he
figure
was like,
out, and I was like, okay, like that's fine. But I was just sitting there, and I was like, everybody looked so much older back in the day, and I was like, what are they portraying his age as in this movie?
yeah,
I bet
no,
he's like
he's definitely
50 in the movie.
yeah, he's supposed to be younger for sure. But anyway, I think this is a great way to kick off season 6. So yeah, I really was glad to revisit this one, and it made me really excited that we can finally do the first last Omen, because I really liked that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting in light of our conversation because, like I was saying, it felt like they didn't really show me Kathy's the mom's journey to getting to that point with Damien where her psychiatrist is like she thinks he's evil and an alien and not her baby. And then you guys were like, what about this scene? What about this scene? What about this scene? And I was like, oh word, that's so real. So I do think that I don't know. I think about this a lot that sometimes the environment in which you watch the movie is just so crucial to your connection to the movie. Like we did Suspiria and I was like, okay. And then probably a year after that, I saw Suspiria in like an old Hollywood theater on a big screen in a crowd taking a movie supplement. And I was like, oh, this is like the way that you need to be watching this film. You need to be watching it with people on a big screen. In the theater was like exactly the right vibe because now it has like sort of a live state production vibe to it. Um and so I do think my ultimate connection to the Omen hasn't happened yet, and sometime in the future if they ever do it at like Hollywood Forever
Oh
Cemetery,
yeah.
that's going to be where it's really going to fuck
Oh my
heavy.
god.
Um and so I think I just haven't fully dialed in on this first watch, but it is good. I did like it, and I can see myself having like a very connected viewing at some point in the future. So I'm gonna give it like 4.45 knives out of fives for now.
Okay, great. Yeah. Just a reminder, folks, listen to what Chelsea just said. If you have the opportunity to see a movie in the theaters, that is the best place to see it. And a lot of people don't do that these days because of, the
Streaming.
cost of thing and streaming. And you
And
think,
it's
oh,
so
I can just watch
convenient to
it
be
at
at
home.
home. It's not the
And yes,
same.
that is true. And I understand it's trying times and I understand that money can be tight. But honestly, AMC A List is a really great deal and it is such an incredible experience. I'm sorry
No,
to
it
see
is.
it out in the theater. It's really incredible. You're locked in. You have no excuse. You can't have your phone out.
Don't
And
be
you're
one of those people
there.
on your phone at the theater. Don't be
You're
one of those
there.
people
You're in.
Snapchatting, having unrelated conversations in the theater. Just lock
It's
in. Allow yourself to
it's
lock
no,
in.
it's have an immersive experience and save the theaters because they're dying and it's the best way to see something and feel something like
I just
in
gotta
that environment.
see The Sound of Music in theaters because they re-released it for its 60th like anniversary, and that is my, I think, number one all-time favorite movie. It
You
was like
love
my
that
dad's
movie.
favorite childhood movie. My grandparents loved it. We all used to watch it together growing up. Like every time I clean my house, I put it on because it's 3 hours long, and I'm like, I can sing songs, I can hate Nazis, I can look at Christopher
Slay.
Plummer. Like it gives me everything that I want in a movie. And like I made Taylor go with me on a Sunday evening so he couldn't watch Sunday football. And I was like, I don't give a shit. We're having a great time. And the amount of like older women who were there and people were like laughing at parts and like cheering. I cried 6 times watching this movie that I have seen hundreds of times in theaters. Like seeing a movie on a big screen is just like so crucial and important, actually.
It's really important, honestly.
Like,
And it gives you something to fucking do, man.
yeah,
It's something to do, and it's not that expensive, and it's a great way to connect with people. Even though you're sitting there not talking for 2 hours, the conversations that you can have afterwards are really spectacular, and people are primed to talk about it. You know how many strangers I talk to after seeing a movie in a movie theater?
yes.
Thousands,
People
millions.
are usually not weird about it. People are
Yeah,
usually engaging
they're
you.
jazz. So anyway,
And I know
gotta
LA is very
remind 'em.
rich in movie screening culture for sure. We've got so many places that do all kinds of movie screenings. But if you just like look up bars in your area that sometimes do movie screenings, sometimes museums in your area will do movie screenings. There are local events like that other places. I mean, we're very lucky to have so many here.
I'm in
but
Alabama, and the like access to movie screenings here is abundant. You just need to look
Yeah.
for it. Like
Mhm.
go
Yeah.
support your go support a
do
movie
it.
theater.
Go support your
Go
local
support
theater.
like independent people who partner up with venues and screen movies. Like go see a movie.
Even just get a group of friends together.
Yeah.
Even just seeing it with other people as opposed to on your couch by yourself.
It can change an entire movie.
For
Totally.
sure.
Totally. Well, I'll watch the Omen with you anytime, Chelsea. I'll get my projector up in the
Yeah.
backyard. I've been honestly wanting to do a spooky movie series through October in our house at my house. So you let me know if you're down, and we'll do it.
Wait till
but
I'm there.
We'll do that too. We'll do it when you're there too.
Okay, good.
Perfect. Anyway, that closes the book on the Omen, the book being the book of Revelations from the Bible.
Correct.
But that does not mean that we're done. We never stop. We always keep going because this is season 666, and it's also the start of a very special Twos weeks. So let me hand it on over.
Not just 2 weeks. It's our 666 season, but also the entire month of October is Sydney Palooza.
There we go, baby. Starting early this year.
I love my birthday so much that it becomes a birth month. It's my busiest month of the year.
It's the best month of the year.
I love clowns. Everybody knows this. And so I was like, we're going to do what was I originally pitching? Like Clowntober.
Clowntober.
Which we're doing is just a mini Clowntober.
It still can be called Clowntober.
Yeah.
It's just not all
There's a
the
clown
whole
in the
month.
Omen.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Clowntober.
I'm
Wait,
just saying, it's Sydney Palooza presents Clowntober. Spooky
wow.
Tuesday, Sydney Palooza presents Clowntober. It's a long.
Mark Jacobs by Mark Jacobs by Mark Jacobs.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And so, one of my favorite clowns of all time is Mr. Pennywise. We've already done my favorite It movie, the 1990s one, but guess what? There's a remake starring maybe one of the sexiest men in horror right now, Bill Skarsgård.
He's definitely one of the he's definitely one of the sexiest
one
men
of the
in horror,
sexiest men in
right now.
horror right now. And so
Especially
next
if
week
you're
we will be doing
looking guys.
It Part 1.
Because Part 2's not that good.
Part 2's not good. Don't worry, we won't be doing
I
that
never
one.
made it
You're on
through
your own.
part 1. I
What
tried
will
to
the
watch it
second
and I
half of
bailed. So
Clowntober
maybe
be? You'll have to see.
we'll
You
see.
never saw. This will be
Maybe
my
I
little
finished it
pre-app.
on a plane one time. Maybe I
Part
did.
1. You never
But I
finished
tried to
part
watch
1?
it with my friends one time and we were like not feeling it.
I did an illegal double feature the weekend that this came out, a horror double feature with my ex-best friend. We started out with get this, Darren Aronofsky's fucking motherfuckers. Mother. We did Mother.
Why would you do that to yourself?
I didn't know what it was going to be. It looked like an interesting film. And then I saw it first. Thank God I saw it first, because then I watched It Part 2 or It Part 1. And that is why I love It Part 1 so much, because
You're
it
like,
was
thank God.
fucking terrifying. I found it to be relaxing after Mother. I was like, finally, something I can come down to. I love this movie. It has a special place in my heart because it healed me after I received wounds from Darren Aronofsky himself. So I can't wait to celebrate with you. And I'm going to be Pennywise for Halloween this year. So I'm excited to get inspired.
Yeah, we're doing a clown Halloween theme. Maybe just me and Monica. So that's fine.
Yeah. My Halloween party is Monica's Cursed Carnival, so get ready for clown content. It's going to go crazy. Anyway, thank you for joining us as we enter into season 666. If you didn't notice, we have some beautiful new artwork that we have up for our episode art.
Yay!
So shouts out to
Thank you,
our lovely
Ryan.
friend and patron, Ryan Brom. He's an incredible artist, and we really love what he did this time around. And if you look really closely, there's some Easter eggs for some episodes you might see later on this month. So do with that what you will. But also, it's a new season and a new opportunity for you to give us a compliment. Why not say, great job, 6th season, so crazy, and a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Or maybe just a 5-star rating on Spotify. We'll take either. Or you can follow us on social media. It's a new season. There's new sexy things happening on our social media, curated by the gorgeous Damien over here. Chelsea Duff is what I mean.
Yep.
So follow us. We're
Hey.
at Spooky_Tuesday on pretty much everything except for Facebook and Tumblr, where we're Spooky Tuesday Pod. And also go to spookytuesdaypod.com. It's a one-stop shop for everything Spooky Tuesday, every movie we've ever done. All of that information is right there. And there's also a link to our Patreon. Join our Patreon. We're doing extra spooky fun things all October long. It's so beautiful. We're all best friends. We talk on the phone. That's not on the phone. We talk on Discord. It's like the phone, but it's
so
not the phone.
close to a phone.
It's like a phone.
It's the
I use my
next
phone to
best
do it.
thing to a phone.
We watch movies together. We were watching Predator a couple weeks ago. They've just been watching all of Alien Earth. We got to find a new show now that that's concluded.
Do we
But
make
anyway,
all the Discord watch of the summer I turned pretty?
oh my God. Some people will be interested. I know some of them watch it, but a lot of them will be like,
Shout
fuck
out to
you.
Tom. He just finished it.
Shout out to Tom. Anyway, so join us. It's a really fun community, and we'd love to have you with us. And also, we are on YouTube, and today we're 3 sexy devils, and one of us might
We're
just
the
be the
Diabolical
devil's
Trinity.
own son. Okay, sorry, I was finishing my joke. What was your joke?
Sorry. We're the Diabolical Trinity from the movie. Remember I said that
Oh,
earlier
yeah.
before we started the episode?
She is the antichrist. Yeah, I remember that. I was just finishing my weird thing I was
Sorry.
saying, which is the devil's own son for the 666th time. Chelsea is the antichrist. That's one of the devil's trilogy. Which
Trinity.
Trinity. Which one am I and which one is Sydney?
You're Satan, and Sydney is the false prophet.
Wow, that's true. But anyway, you can only see us be this unholy trinity on YouTube. So subscribe. And that's it. At the end of the day, I have to say thank you so much for joining us as we embark on season 6 and for listening today. And we will see you next Tuesday for Sydney Palooza.
Bye, Spookies!
Spooky Tuesday was created by Monica Height, Sydney Thompson, and Chelsea Duff, and edited by Sydney Thompson. Our gorgeously spooky tunes are all thanks to Tamara Simons, who you can follow on Instagram at Great18. That's GR818_. And our podcast art is by Ryan Brom, who you can follow on Instagram at Ryan Brom Art. That's RyanBrommArt. Learn more about Spooky Tuesday at spookytuesdaypod.com and subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/spooky_Tuesday.